Hi, welcome to my multidimensional living room. This is going to be one of the Tetris readings in which I give you a theme, a symbol, or an energy that is currently present, and I find words for it for you. And you can take it and see how does it fit into your story, into your structure of being, into your life, into your reality, into your current situation, whatever you're dealing with. And if it helps you orient yourself and navigate life, then great. If it doesn't, then you leave it and somebody else will play with it. I feel a bit tender right now. My heart and my energy is with Jamaica, because right now, in the moment when I'm filming this, there is a Category 5 hurricane happening over there. It didn't make the landfall yet, but it's about. And I have my antennas tuned into storms wherever they happen on the planet. This is how this deck came to be. I'm using Red, Blue, Black and White Storm Oracle deck that I channeled through being tuned into a storm. Right now I'm feeling more so this energy than this one, but this one was with me the whole day. Well, let's start from the beginning. I was listening to Max Velocity yesterday when he was explaining how the Melissa, this hurricane, became Category 5 hurricane from tropical storm. So it looked very innocent and it looked very like not a big deal. And then it rapidly, in less than 48 hours, it transmuted itself into a Category 5 hurricane. And the way he said that is how rapidly it intensified, pointed out and was equivalent to some of the energies that I already spoke about in the last video, and some that I sensed very intensely over the last few days. And that is this major growth, or at least awareness of the major growth that happened already over time. How that might externalize in your awareness is that you find yourself having the skill, the tenacity, the dexterity, the strength, the power, the presence to stay within yourself, or stay true to yourself, or stay grounded, or stay knowing who you are, or stay with your boundaries, or stay empowered in circumstances that would normally, up until recently, throughout your entire life, completely destabilize you. What I'm seeing from tropical storm going into a powerful Category 5 hurricane is you. The eye of the storm represents you. You are the eye of the storm. This calm before the storm speaks to me about the raising awareness of you being the eye of the storm of your life. So I have a feeling that I'm speaking to somebody, to multiple somebodies. I feel like I'm speaking to different layers of awareness of what it means to be the eye of the storm. On one layer of awareness, I'm speaking to somebody who needs to hear, who maybe hears this for the first time, whether from me or from somebody else or somehow else. But now is the time when you start realizing that you don't see the world as it is, you see it as you are. So if you look around and you see that you don't really like a lot of things, it's not about the things that they're unlikable, it's about, it might be though, But it's more so that your focus and attention is pointed to what you don't like. It's about it shows your calibration, it shows your discernment about what are you placing your focus and attention. And it's not just about your focus and attention, it's also about your nervous system and how your body has been built and how you've been calibrated and conditioned to experience life. So if you've been raised and conditioned to be in chaos and noise and complications and drama and unpredictability and danger of some sort or some sort of like stimulation, then when you find yourself in the frequency of peace and stability and safety and sustainability, that might appear boring to you. So there are multiple factors that are being played into, or that are playing into, how you experience the reality. But at this point, you're starting to become aware that it is you who is seeing. It is you who holds the power of seeing anything and everything around you. On another layer of awareness, I feel like I'm speaking to somebody who is becoming aware of themselves being this empty space in the hurricane. So the hurricane is the eye of the storm where there is nothing going on. It's not the nothing. Oh, now you got me. Is this a point of the lowest pressure? I think so. Please don't get me wrong, I'm not a weather person. I mean, I am tuned into storms, but I don't really fluently speak the technicality of it. And this around are winds and rains and clouds that contain rains and hail and thunder and in the structure of a human being. So eye of the storm is this non-physical aspect of you. And the storm is the physicality. It is your structure of being. It doesn't it does translate into the physicality, but it's more so what makes you you. And so when you as a person go from a tropical storm into a category 5 in a very small period of time, it's equivalent to starting as an intern in an organization of some sort, and then due to your strengths, your skills and abilities, automatically being promoted into a super high position, which consequently puts a lot of how to say that? It's not that it puts a lot of pressure, but it does put a lot of pressure on you, and consequently your foundation of life that has been built on the fact that you're an intern, that you're still learning, kind of comes crumbling down, because now you're immediately drastically in a new frequency. Your people around you might perceive you differently. Your way of relating to people might change drastically. Your reality might change drastically. You might need to move more or travel more or have conversations on a slightly higher note. You may need to develop yourself more than you would if you would just remain an intern. This rapid intensification, is that a word, might apply to some rapid big changes that have happened or that are happening, that you're currently undergoing in your life. But they may not necessarily be materialized into something very specific, like a promotion at work. They might as well be simply that you, in some area of your life, that 99% of those ingredients of that area or that situation that you were in were totally fine for a very long period of time. There was just this one thing that carried the potential of danger, and that one thing made it look a little bit spicy. Like a tropical storm. You know, we love tropical storms. They're sexy, they're fun, they can be very adventurous, they can be romantic, they can be scary, they can be whatever you want them to be, kind of a thing. But then when it grows into a category 5 hurricane, that's life or death situation, that's not fun anymore. It might be. If you're fun and if you go in it with the most funnest attitude ever, you can make it fun. But if you're witnessing the level of destruction that is going on around you, sometimes I don't know, I assume it's not easy to keep the fun spirit when you're surrounded with a lot going on. So there might be some situation that is happening in your life where it's as if you order a food that is a little bit spicy. It's very delicious, but it's a little bit spicy and you think you can handle it. And the next thing you know is you're in hospital and you're having an allergic reaction to the spice and it's too hot and you can't breathe and you're fighting for your life, kind of a thing. It doesn't need to be exactly that. That's a metaphor for some situation in life or some aspect of life that has rapidly transformed from interesting to really bad or really intense. It doesn't necessarily need to be really bad. It can be really good as well, where you might find yourself that now, as the eye of the storm, you can find yourself in an environment or in contact with people that would 5 years ago completely burn your nervous system. But now you're able to handle them. Now you're able to remain present and in knowing who you are. Not mistaking yourself for the rest of the structure of being, which is you, but ultimately when you completely transcend the physical reality, you're only the non-physical. The Eye of the Storm also speaks about the awareness of the cyclical nature of life, especially when you become, this is another layer of awareness that I'm speaking to. When you become aware that you are the non-physical space, that you are the magician, that you are the, I refuse to say the God, but to some people it might resonate if I say that you are the God of yourself. You are your God. Your gods, your spirits, your angels, they're not separate from you. Your future self, your past self, nothing is separated from you. So when you realize that you are the eye of the storm, and you realize that maybe before you realize that the wind is blowing in one direction and it brings destruction, and we humans are kind of calibrated thought, and we learn that when something comes crashing down, that we feel sorry for it, we feel sad, we feel the loss, we feel the grief, we feel like we have a problem and we want to fix it. That's the nature of humans before they realize that they are the eye of the storm. But then you realize that you are the eye of the storm, and you realize that destruction is sometimes necessary in life, and that sometimes it happens in order for something new to come being rebuilt, so that the new structure can come and rebuild itself with a little bit more stability or more safety or more quality of being. When the same hurricane keeps rotating, so first it goes in one direction, and then you realize that you are the eye of the storm, and then it comes equally so in the other direction. The second time around, you don't fear it anymore, because you know that it must happen. In manifestation field, in manifestation communities, there is an energy field of teachings and theories that speak about how when you decide who you want to be, or you remember who you are, it's basically the same thing, just different language based on different standpoints. But when you are rooted in the eye of the storm, in who you are, the remnants of your previous identity and previous programmings and previous calibrations and previous conditionings, they need to come up in order to be cleared out. And so if they come up, you're being asked to not vibrationally, emotionally, energetically interact with them. Because if you do, you are choosing to merge with them and you are including them into part of who you are. I know this is clashing with what I spoke about yesterday, but this is also not wrong. It's just another perspective. What you're being asked to is to let it be there. Let it crumble if it needs to. Let it play itself out. Because this is just old reality showing itself back up. To test you, whether you are strong enough in your new frequency. Because if you are, it just won't have a gravitational pull to get your awareness to go and interact with it in a way that binds you with it again. You will see it, you will realize it, you will recognize it, and you will see that that's a part of your old reality. And it just won't have a gravitational pull, so you can remain being the center of the storm and moving in a trajectory that you choose to yourself. And so when you come to that awareness, you can remain centered in the non-physicalness of your existence, and whatever is happening on the outside, just like the second pass of the storm, you just have to let it pass and remain centered until your centeredness starts creating a new layer of reality for you. On another level, I'm addressing people who are going to the next level of this understanding that they are a non-physical being having a physical experience. And the next level of that is complete detachment from physical reality, where you realize that not even this body that you're having, this world is kind of like a transitory home that you're having. You came here to visit, you're not here to stay. And you're totally, completely at ease with that. In peace, in full acceptance. And that allows you to live transparently. That allows you to live in a way that you have nothing to fear and nothing to hide. Of course, if you have to protect yourself, you will. If you have to feed yourself, you will. You're still human. You still have responsibilities, probably. You still have people that you need to interact with. But you don't operate from the space of fear. Because you're aware that human nature and Mother Nature, if so need be, can go as far as they can in physical laws and physical matters and physical actions. But you as a spirit, you're indestructible. You don't die. You just multiply. So I feel like I'm addressing somebody who is very, I'm not going to say very new, but somebody who is in the process of grounding this into their structure of being, claiming that fully for themselves, and operating from that space of awareness. And this tile is called Calm Before the Storm. It carries the fear of consequences of shifting into higher awarenesses and different ways of operating. The fear of destruction. For those that are actually dealing with hurricanes, the feeling that you have to do it all on your own. But it also ultimately, both of them in combination, bring this. I'm seeing the image of a huge rock falling off from the sky onto the earth, onto a beach. It's like a hard truth coming down, and that needs to be accepted because you have no other choice. And that is that your physical reality, all your possessions, all your belongings are just temporary. They come and they go, they can be replaced, they can be obtained, they can be destroyed, they can be gifted, they can be stolen, but you can't. And somebody's coming to this, it feels like you have no choice but to accept it, that your life is the most important thing. And that no matter how much you find your stuff valuable and dear to you, and no matter how much you're emotionally attached to it or to them, none of that is going to go with you. I'm going to leave that right here. Thank you for being here. Thank you for liking and subscribing. It's more than appreciated. And if you are anywhere near hurricanes, if you have anything to do with severe storms and destruction of it, I feel for you. And I wish you all the best. Thank you for being here. Ciao.